Hi. Today I want to talk about something that marketing people never talk about. I don't know why, and that's the trade. One of my first bosses, I worked for a bank at the time, was a guy called Standard Jordan, and he said to me early on, the last 3 feet of marketing is the trade. In other words, how do I link my marketing with a place where people buy my brand? And how does that link work? And how clear is that link? And how integrated is that link? That whatever I say in my marketing translates into the trade and sends the same message, the same imagery and everything. And I think there are 2 things that I always use to look at it. The one is, I call them the 2 Qs. The one is the quantitative side of the trade, and the other one is what I term the qualitative side of the trade. Now, the quantitative side of the trade is fairly fundamental, and that is the whole issue of weighted distribution. In other words, being logistically in the right places where people want to buy my brand. So if you take Coca-Cola, one of the fundamental reasons for its success is the fact that it is omnipresent. And one of the philosophies of the brand as being within arm's reach of wherever somebody may want to buy Coca-Cola. So quantitatively, the brand dominates. And it is available as wide as possible. I remember in the early days of Vodacom, Alan Craig saying that if you cannot buy airtime everywhere as a cell phone service provider, you're not in the business and you're not in the game. And that is why for many, many years, Vodacom dominated the airtime sales space. In other words, wherever somebody wanted to buy airtime, they could find airtime, they could buy it. So availability is fundamental. And if you look at the success of Unilever, Procter & Gamble, all the iconic global multinationals, one of the key reasons for their success is distribution. Being in stock, being available, having the stock pressure, and being where people want to buy the brand. Without that, you're not in the business. You have to be there. Point 2, the qualitative element. The qualitative element is an element we also, I think, often overlook. And that is the impact that my brand has where it is available. In other words, how identifiable is an MTN store? How identifiable is an Edgar store? How easy do I make it for the consumer to see the store and know where they must go? How easy do I make it when they enter the store to understand with directional signage and things like that how to operate, where to go? How easy do I make it for my bank customer to know where to go and what counter to go to? Packaging design. How visible do I make my brand? For chocolate count lines and products like that, often the only marketing they do is to have brilliant standout packaging. Packaging is something in South Africa I believe we often overlook. Yet if you look at countries like Japan, packaging is iconic. It is incredibly powerful in conveying a sense of purpose, meaning, and giving you a differentiated reason why to buy the brand, even if they do no other marketing. So the qualitative element of the trade is fundamental. So to recap for me, if you look at the trade and the alignment of the trade, it is critically important. Can people buy me wherever they want to buy my brand? And secondly, do I make the most of my point of sale, my packaging, the knowledge of my staff that my staff have of my brand, the way in which they can answer inquiries in a bank? If I add all of those elements together, do I give my brand a disproportionate impact where it matters and where people want to buy it? So the 2 Qs of the trade is fundamentally important.